Hello guys, what's up? Frostgalaxy back again for another video. Now, once again, if you ask me where I've been so far, I haven't been posting. Well, right now I'm trying to do potions really. But today, I want to talk in a more serious update. I know I do joke around a lot on this channel, which is a good thing, but I really don't like where the developers are going with Tlopo currently. This may come as a shock just as the open beta released not too long ago, but I kind of feel that the Tlopo as a game is kind of bringing itself to a dead end. Now, if you don't know what I mean, which you probably don't, because by dead end, I mean where they can't add anything more onto the game. Now, I'm not saying that Tlopo developers can't add anything else onto the game. It would disrupt it would disrupt the flow of the originality that Potco had, or something along those lines. But I just feel like the developers are kind of in a weird way scared to do something different with Tlopo. And I mean, they have all the right in the world to, but if Tlopo is going to stay a game that people are going to play, in my eyes, they're going to have to like change it a tiny bit. I mean, some of the stuff in Tlopo, while it's fine, like the combat system a tiny bit, it gets really buggy at some points. There's some things that are still beta, like for instance, I'm not sure whether this is still in the game or not, but there is this bug where, I can't call it a bug because it always happens, but where you can't see staff animations, but you can see every other weapon animation, like other players. You can see your staff animation if you do them yourself, but you can't see your allies or even people in your crew. I just find to be really weird. And also, there's many easy ways to, kind of make the game go into graphical error mode, etc. Actually, kind of weird why it happens. And though I do have to give Tlopo some credit, they've been able to do something that I don't even know how they were able to revive this game without using. That's practically trying to code a game without code. So I do applaud them for that, and I do applaud that at least Disney thinks that all they have done is not just variable changing names, like changing. That'll just be probably why Poor got, whatever happened to Poor, that just really destroyed it. All they did was change the variable names, which, in case you're not a developer, basically a variable something, so a variable can equal text or something. So what I'm meaning by changing the name is they change a variable's name itself. So if Bob equals the number 1, so it's an variable, then maybe 4 just changed it, instead of it named the variable named Bob, you name it Joe. A mild example, nothing too much. But the main thing I am really distressed about, at least disturbed about in Tlopo, is that they're in this, even the creepy niche shown a case of that game development is kind of wonky. Like, in this previous update, basically, at least from a game developer's perspective, because I do develop games, so I'm really bad at it, and I on Roblox, that it kind of, going from beta to open beta is almost the same magnitude as going from beta to, and I feel like Tlopo, or at least the devs on it, just completely brushed it off, gave us some codes, and told us to have a nice day. Which, that's all fun and good, but when you get the same cosmetic codes, one can dispute that the broadsword was actually good, and I do enjoy that the broadsword has dark form or whatever. Yes, I haven't read codes yet, but just besides the broadsword, they really didn't add anything. Like I'm not from Potco or anything, so if the Broadsword was actually a new item in the game, please tell me, because that would probably change my opinion on this in a heartbeat. But they haven't been really showing any signs of like making new stuff to Tlopo to make it even better than Potco. And I know they're probably not thinking about this, the developers, because they're just wanting to get the ground of their building, which is figuratively the game, and they want to build it up from there. They don't want to go to the ceiling. But I kind of feel like in order to make Potco stand out as a game, they might just have to do it. And it sounds a tiny bit like I'm wanting new content. But I mean, the Tlopo art style is really easy to replicate in either way, in my opinion. In either way, if you can't replicate it, make it like this weird zone. Like, because Tlopo is made by the Tlopo developers, obviously, this might be contrary to many people's belief, but Tlopo does not have to be Potco canon. Or it doesn't have to be Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, I mean, for goodness sakes, they could probably add stuff from the new movie in, which would be really cool, actually. But it just goes to show that, at least in my eyes, the Tlopo developers are kind of not doing anything when it comes to like new content. And once again, I didn't play Potco. At least my friend says I did when I was 9, but I don't remember that. And just, I mean, there comes a point in time when you start to like wonder when like the next patch is gonna be, and this happened with another game called Trove, where the game was getting so boring for me that I waited for a new update to maybe perk my interest in the game more. But the developers failed to actually get a good update out. Thus started the Great Fire War. Basically, it just started me not caring about the game. I mean, I don't want Podco or Tlopo or turn into a Trove-like game for me, is where I only go in it for the updates. But I mean, I do love how this game has a leveling system compared to Trove, which is different. That actually matters. Like, heck, I'm doing potions right now, and I'm doing that so I can max everything else faster. But it's a good game to use time on to get like level 50 or stuff. But like I said before with the creepy knit, because the creepy knit didn't have motivation of going to level 50. I mean, it just goes to show that after someone reaches that level 50 threshold and has done most of the end game stuff, like the creepy knit entertained himself by doing loot videos and stuff like that. But it was pretty obvious that he was getting bored with what the end game was offering. At least, once again, from my point of view. You might counter this in the comments or whatever, but the fact still stands that the end game isn't expansive enough for how expansive the early game is. And that's a weird concept in itself, because these days you expect MMORPGs, which, yes, Tlopo technically is one. You expect MMORPGs to have an overwhelming end game with so much to do, or like, for example, in WoW, have that one rare drop that everyone wants to get. But it's just not there in Podco. Or, I mean, Tlopo. Probably going to refer to it as Podco for the rest of this video. I'm probably going to talk for too long, but, well, just the thing I feel is that they feel like they need to add more to their end game, but at the same time, they need to add more to their. And I guess this is general takeaway that I want everyone who's viewing this video. I do like joking around and stuff, but I mean, the way the Tlopo developers are going, I'm not going to say, oh no, it's end of Tlopo, spoiler alert, clickbait, XD. But I am going to say that it's quite I guess, distressing that they're barely doing any, like, new content updates. Like, most of the updates these days are either codes or bug fixes. And I'm sure many people will agree with me. If nobody does, then wow, I just made a false statement. I love my life. But in conclusion, I guess what I want to get across is that Tlopo needs a more polished endgame or a higher longevity of an end that's new and exciting, so even veterans aren't like, oh yeah. But a new type of thing where people who are excited about it can go on the wiki, they can stuff about it, they can look at all the loot tables, and make more unique legendary weapons. Which, I mean, I'll just get into it a tiny bit because that's technically where I was supposed to end the video. But, most of the legendary weapons in the game are just improved stats compared to their non-legend. Like the Sword of El Patron, or the Lost Meme of El Patron, if you've watched my videos before, is a pretty decent sword. It's actually really good. But the thing is, it's only good from a stats perspective. Nothing else of it's that alarming. Like, if you're doing, like, I don't know if they add this in the future, or if you were just walking around, if you saw someone with the Sword of El Patron, you'd be like, wow, that's a good sword. Congrats. That's all you'd probably do. And I don't blame anyone who does that, because the Sword of El Patron doesn't have, like, this special ability where every mob in the entire map gets teleported to one location for like 10 seconds. I mean, people like the Silver Freeze for a reason. Because it freezes enemies. It has that unique ability. Whenever whenever they put the tag legendary onto it, you've gone through rude, common, rare, fabled, shadow, on one. And then you get to legendary. And you expect legendary to that crashed my game. But you expect the sword or dagger or whatever you have to give you a sort of edge in the game, to make you stand out, but everyone else. Be like, hey, my name's Frost Galaxy Gamer. I have the Sword of El Patron. It teleports everyone in every mob in the entire map to a single location. So I can cleave them all with my broadsword. Now I know an ability like that should not exist, but I mean just simple. A good example of this is Overwatch. Overwatch, every single hero has a different ultimate ability. So when you're facing a new hero, or in this case, a different legendary weapon in Tlopo, or if you're seeing one, you're like, whoa, that's a new thing. I have to adapt my playstyle around. And I mean, I would especially love if they made swords and grenades, especially, and stuff like that, go off of what they're supposed to do. Like, make it so there's a legendary grenade. I don't know what name they would come up with. It just does damage to a single enemy. But it does super high amounts of damage, like 5k damage. That sounds crazy, but that's just an idea I'm throwing. Things like that will make it so you have to decide, hey, am I going to use this thing? Or am I going to use this thing? Not, am I going to choose a broadsword? Am I going to choose a rapier? Because that's how it is right now. And, I mean, not all classes have the same thing as sword, where you can 9 billion different types of swords with attack patterns. But there comes a point where, out of all of them, there's going to be the one that's best. And obviously for guns, there's a good example. there's the blunderbuss, which everyone loves and adores. And if somebody says the blunderbuss is that bad in any sort of way, they get shamed on the forum. Hopefully you guys have watched this. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Yeah, hopefully you guys watch this. But in all honesty, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a tiny bit more serious. I know I sounded kind of sick throughout the entire video, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I bet this was a probably really boring video to watch. Probably wish you spent your time doing something else. But hopefully you get what I mean when I say this. And hopefully the Tlopo developers eventually watch this. Because, I mean, each developer is going to have their own faults, especially when making a game with other developers. It's just like trying to create a story with 20 people. It's not going to work the first. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Frostgalaxy Gamer. See you guys next time.